I'm here at Mount Allison University with Dr. Lloyd, who researches ticks and Lyme disease. And we're here in the lab where they're going to tell us what you need to watch out for and what the dangers of Lyme disease are.
Okay, hello. So welcome to the lab. This is a lab where we're collecting ticks from across New Brunswick. We check them out to see what species they are, then we test them for the bacteria, Borrelia, which is the bacteria that causes Lyme disease. So Lyme disease is a very serious bacterial infection, and you get it when a tick, which looks remarkably like this little frisky sucker that's climbing up the vial, trying to escape. When these guys bite you and they feed on you for a good long time, they'll transmit the bacteria to you. Once they transmit the bacteria to you, it travels through your body, and that's when the real problem is. It gets into your neurons, your brain, your spinal cord, your joints, and it can essentially cause a very serious infection that's hard to get rid of. Now, that doesn't mean we should all stay inside, quivering and too afraid to go outside, particularly now that the weather has improved. You just have to know that these guys are here, they're in the environment. So a good thing to do is when you come inside from being in long grass or the forest, check yourself for a feeding tick, which will look sort of like a freckle with legs on the end. Check your kids, check your pets. Basically, if you've been outside, you should check yourself that evening. If you get the tick off you fairly quickly, there's much less chance of it having had time to give you the bacteria. So we'll just take you through what happens here. So we get ticks. People either drop them off in person. This is one came with a lovely note saying, "I got it off my dad's back." We have other ticks that are dropped off in person. A lot are just mailed in. If the tick is dead, you can put it in the mail. It comes to me. I check it to see what species it is. Fill out paperwork. Then it goes over here where we're making a video record of the tick, and this is the start of the molecular tick analysis process. So what you can see here is Andrea is imaging the tick with a microscope, and then you get great big images of ticks showing up on the computer screen. Once we have that, we have a permanent record of the tick, and if we have any questions about the tick afterwards, we can go back. Checking how big the tick also allows us to see how long it's been feeding. This particular monstrously large and ugly tick was probably from an animal because it looks like it fed for a good long time, probably about 7 days. So that's a nice chewy one. What we do after that is that the tick is ground up, its DNA is extracted, and if it has the bacteria in it, that DNA is extracted as well. We can amplify that DNA through something called PCR, polymerase chain reaction, and then that DNA is imaged on a gel, and that's what Julie is doing over here. So this DNA has been amplified. It's got a green dye in it so we can see it, and then we run it on a gel, and the DNA is made to fluoresce so that when we put a black light on it, if the bacterial DNA is there, it glows, at which point we tell the veterinarian who submitted the tick or the individual person who mailed the tick in that the tick from their dog or the cat, or hopefully not from themselves, was infected.
Can you tell us maybe what the prevalence of Lyme disease is in New Brunswick, or how likely someone is to get it or find a tick?
Well, there are a lot of ticks out here, and we principally have the blackleg. The tick that principally we find on people and pets is the blackleg tick, which is unfortunately the one that's a vector for Lyme disease. The prevalence varies year by year. Julie, what was it last year?
12%,
Okay,
I think, yeah.
That sounds right. So 2015, the prevalence was 12% of ticks being infected. That may be something of an underestimate, but that's a conservative estimate. So it means essentially you have a chance of getting infected. That's with the Borrelia bacteria. Ticks are nasty little bags of pathogens, and they have other things inside of them. So really, no matter whether that tick is infected or not, you really want to get it off you. It's helpful not to throw the tick away. At least keep it, but you can also send it in for testing, and that not only helps research on ticks in New Brunswick and helps us monitor how the disease is spreading, but it means you will find out whether your particular tick was infected or not. So that's useful. If you're bitten by a tick, things to watch out for are fever. Some people get a fever afterwards. It's short, sort of flu-like symptoms. Some people don't. There's a lot of awareness about the bullseye rash, and if you get that bullseye rash, you're lucky in a way because people will recognize it. But the majority of people do not get a bullseye rash, or in fact any rash at all. So basically, if you have a tick on you, either keep the tick or better yet send it in for testing and tell your doctor you had a tick on you. If it's your dog or cat, say the same thing, but to your veterinarian.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Dr. Lloyd. For BuzzLocal.tv, I'm Robin Odell at the lab at Mount Allison University.